quick disclaimer, my outlook on this game is very positive. I might seem a little bit negative inside this video, but I do want to make it clear that I am very much enjoying this game, and I think you should give it a shot. Anyways, on to the video. Hello! Just wanted to make a video talking about Duet Night Abyss and Warframe. As a Warframe veteran, I decided to play this game because it was, well, Warframe-like. It has a lot of Warframe movement types, and a lot of things in the game are extremely similar. And I want to give my almost review, but more like should you play this game and is it worth it? I do think that the gameplay is, well, very worth it. I do think it's a really good time. Genuinely, like, they did do a good job on the movement and the way it plays, and they have a lot of things that are extremely similar. Bullet jumping, they have most of the movement is very similar. They don't have wall jumping or like wall running or anything. They do have a really weird kind of wall climb thing, but I don't know, I mean the combat, as you can see in like the background here, is genuinely good. It's fun, it's fast, it's fluid. There's animation cancels, which make it so that the game feels really, really smooth in a lot of situations where like animations would have ruined it, kind of thing. But it's been really good to play so far. I do have my complaints about the game, to the point where I probably will not be playing it. But I still have more to play, and I haven't made an entire decision on that yet. Potentially this is going to be a good game that I'm going to make some content on, or, you know, play on stream a bunch and actually enjoy with the community and that kind of stuff. But let me air out what I have been thinking the last day or so. So I have only played this game for the day. This will be the probably about 6 or 7 hours or so since I started it. A lot of the gameplay is extremely similar to Warframe. Again, like I said, like most of the movement is very, very, very one-to-one, except it's just anime. There's a ton of different weapons, lots of different characters. They all have very unique playstyles, and we've made a couple jokes about some of them being just Warframes, but with anime skins over them. There's a Mesa clone, there's one we called Hydroid, but it's more like Alawi from League of Legends. There's also, you know, like a couple others that are really similar to characters just in Warframe. Currently I'm playing the character named Rebecca. She is like a jellyfish, like, hydro character where she just like she just puts down these like these jellyfish that kind of just kill things that walk into them. She seems to be really, really powerful, as far as I'm aware. But I have, again, barely really stepped in. I hit like level 40? I think I'm like account level 32 or 33 or so. So I'm getting there, but obviously I haven't hit like endgame or anything, and we'll talk about the story in a moment here, but yeah, it's a very simple gameplay loop. Unlike Warframe, you only have 2 abilities, and then your like main attack, you got like a heavy attack, and then you've got like shooting with your right click. There is no aiming. It's either shoot or don't shoot, which means that like aim gliding is, well, you use ammo to do it, and then you can also reload while doing it, and it's kind of weird, but it's the way it is. But it works because the game just like kind of lets you reload and do it infinitely, so you can actually aim glide, as far as I'm aware, quite literally infinitely. You do slowly fall to the ground, so over time you will hit the ground at some point, but it does mean that you will hit the ground. I just wanted to explain really quick that there is basically like a whole modding system, which is essentially just the Warframe modding system, with just like unique mods and stuff. Like this one gives 30% attack and 40% crit chance. This one gives 40% crit chance. This one gives 40% crit damage, and so on and so forth. Trigger probability is basically status chance, although it's more for like effects rather than statuses and that kind of stuff. Looks like 8 mod slots, and for Warframe, or I guess main characters, you do get an aura slot, which is this middle one here, and then another 8 slots. This is just Warframe. We looked at this and we were like, it's got its own skin on it, but it is Warframe, pretty much down to a T. Look at all these weapons. Look at how cool they are. Like, some of these are just so cool. I looked at 3 whips in a row. Hell yeah. That was exactly what I was looking for. And then the guns are very similar, where there's just a bunch of them. We were making fun of this one down here for just being the Avidai, and then this one for just being the Ghoul Saw. But you know how it is. They are at least somewhat different. Oh, and yeah, she got geophysics. They got geophysics. Yeah, Warframe doesn't have that. When Warframe geophysics. Past the gameplay, we played a bunch of the story today, and boy howdy do I gotta tell you, I hate having my handheld in a game as hard as that game did. It was holding my hand like it was afraid I was gonna get lost in the crowd of like 3 people. Like, I get the game has some complex mechanics to it, but oh my god, let me play the damn game. I said it on stream at least a number of times. I just want to get into the gameplay. One of the biggest strengths of this game, quite literally, is its gameplay, is its combat. And yet, in the first, I want to say almost 2 hours, I think we got into like 3 fights. And one of those fights lasted less than 5 seconds. And then we got put into another cutscene. So it just seems like they were afraid to use their strength of being a combat game, to the point where it took me about, I want to say about 45 minutes before I was like, okay, I just don't care about the story. I want to just get into the gameplay. I want to get into the part that's fun. I want to play the game. So I started skipping a lot of the story, and that's not really a great feeling. I know that a lot of people are very like heavily into story games and stuff, and I don't mind story games at all. In fact, I really do enjoy a story game from time to time. And especially games like Warframe, where they have a really good story, but you do have to play the game first to get to it. And a lot of the exposition that happens in Warframe it happens during gameplay. You're either loading into a mission, or you're actually playing, or even the cutscenes in a couple of the quests are you jumping back and forth between positions, actually trying to avoid detection. It's genuinely a good way, in my opinion, to tell a story that needs to be told in a way that doesn't make the player feel like they're not doing anything. And in a lot of cases, this game has me talking to a trash bin, which was very interesting, to say the least. I had like gone into a trash bin and I searched it and I rummaged it in it, and it gave me about 4 lines of dialogue, and then I had to run another 400 meters back to where I came from. And huh? How was that? Who asked for that? I don't understand. I don't know why, because I was deep into my section of like, I'm skipping this. But, good god. Again, my issue isn't with the story itself. In fact, I don't even want to say anything about the story now, because I don't know it. I skipped it. It's with the portrayal of the story and the way it's like shown to you as the player. It feels genuinely like they were afraid to let you play the game. Even if they just put you into combat with a couple of enemies while you're doing the story quest, and while like somebody is talking in the background, would be totally enough. I even mentioned one part where We went and fought this one guy. He has a big shield. I don't even know what his name was, or who he was, because I skipped it. But we went and fought him. It took me all of 4 hits to kill him. And then we talked to him for probably 40 lines of dialogue. And all of that dialogue could have happened just while we were in combat with something else. Because it would have been perfect as an opportunity to go, hey, this guy is actually a good guy. You just beat him. A bunch of enemies just spawned. Keep him alive while he tells you what's happening. It just doesn't really... Anyways, those are my complaints about the story. I don't want to complain too much about it. But when it comes to like the genuine gameplay, it's really fun. As you can see, the background, it's like really flashy and there's a lot going on and it's genuinely just a great time. They have these endless missions and a lot of the missions are extremely similar to Warframe, where you just kind of do like a defense or a survival or a capture mission or a sabotage. And they're all extremely similar to just Warframe missions, which is great. I don't dislike Warframe missions. In fact, I love Warframe missions, and these game modes do work. Hell, they even took Hijack, and I don't like Hijack, but I guess it works in this game, so... Sure? Yeah, that said, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the, like, styles and a lot of the monetization options that happen with, like, gacha games like this, and I know they took the gacha out of the game when it comes to player power. However, there is a concern that I have about the endgame monetization when it comes to how you upgrade your characters. We were doing the math on a couple of the things, and considering we don't know if you can get the premium resource in-game yet, as far as I'm aware, you cannot, but there could be an option later on after the story is completed. It's gonna cost roughly $200 Canadian to fully unlock the passives for your character. Well, that's too much money. I won't do that. And, in all likelihood, that kind of monetization, if you can't get the premium resource in-game, will make me quit. I've said it before on stream a couple of times, and one of the reasons why I don't like gacha is that even if my skill is far and above better than somebody else's, and I'm not saying mine is, but take this as an example. Say my skill is far and above past another player, but I'm unable to get past a certain point because I simply didn't spend enough money. That is where I quit games. And in fact, I don't mind spending money on games. In fact, I've spent $2,000 to $3,000 on Warframe. More than that, probably. However, if I'm to spend money, I need to enjoy a game first. And if this game really does grip me, I'm willing to spend money. But if it's going to power grind and lock me behind not being able to do content because somebody else paid more money, I'm just not going to. It doesn't sound interesting to me. Now, again, that being said, I am very much enjoying this game. I'm likely going to probably complete the story. I want to see what the end game is like. I'm going to level a couple of characters. I'm curious kind of what the end game leveling seems like and farming and all of that. If you can farm quite literally everything in the game to level up your characters aside from cosmetics, then I am absolutely in. I'm absolutely in. But again, my concerns lie in the fact that so far it doesn't look like it. The other parts that get me are how many things are monetized and how many things you get in your inventory like immediately. I get that this is like a very gacha style mechanic, but there's genuinely just so much of the, hey, log in, you just get 1,000 of like random resources, you have no idea what they are. And I think that that's actually at the detriment to the game to do, because when I log into a game and I get, hey, congratulations, you logged in once, here's 7,000 different resources in different locations. Just put it in my inventory at that point, without me having to interact, and then once you do need it, you can just go, hey, this is how you use this resource, this is what you use it for. Or make it so that you can just look that up in the game. Again, my major problem with it so far has been just how much handholdy it is, and I guess that's just a gacha style thing. Well, I don't have many more thoughts on this. It does just seem like a good game, in all honesty, and I don't mind supporting games that put a lot of effort into their communities and into their games and all this effort that they've put into cosmetics. I'm totally fine with it, especially games that allow you to play the game in the way that you want to play. I'm not saying not to play it. It's free to play. So far, I'm having a good time with it. The movement is very Warframe oriented and genuinely, like I said, a good time. It is a blast. So if you want to give it a try for yourself, it is free to play. I will put a link to the website underneath my video here. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else. If you want to talk more about it, feel free to jump into my Discord and ask me questions, or jump into my stream. I stream 5 days a week. If you want my schedule, again, my Discord has it. That will be linked underneath the video as well, so feel free to check there. It does have my schedule and everything, but I stream both on Twitch and on YouTube 5 days a week. And we're going to be playing Warframe a lot, because that is the main game I play. But I hope you enjoyed this little just yap session. I didn't write anything down for this. I just wanted to quickly put my thoughts into a video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye, and see you next time.